Hi, I'm Christie Peale, Executive Director at the Center for New York City Neighborhoods. Our mission is to promote and protect affordable homeownership in New York City. Today we hosted an important conference, Equitable Resiliency in New York City, to look at the issue of rising flood insurance rates and the impacts on homeowners and communities across the region. We were lucky enough to have Jamie Rubin from the Governor's Office of Storm Recovery keynote our afternoon session. We're also lucky enough to have a panel of experts give some really thoughtful responses on the issue. In addition, we released a very important resource called floodhelpny.org. And in the morning, a group of advocates, experts, homeowners worked together to imagine some alternative ways that we could tackle this issue in a session that we called an idea generator.
So at the generator this morning, we brought together about 25 experts so that they could really dig into the problem of flood insurance and changing flood zone maps and the impact of climate change, and sort of identify the places where technology could be used as a helpful lever to create change.
It was just a really great program, a really important issue and some interesting creative ideas.
Flood insurance and the elevation issue is the big issue that everyone was looking at.
It can impact people who are low income, moderate, and upper income. It's just something that is going to be impacting everyone throughout New York City.
And in working with over 3,000 families impacted by Sandy, we began to understand how significant the challenge of flood insurance was going to be. And all of us have really been digging in together through several working groups to understand this.
I'm grateful for your careful analysis of the demographics of this Sandy-affected population. I hope federal policymakers and other observers, including advocates of all kinds, will read it and better understand the specific circumstances of this recovery.
These maps that FEMA is giving us do not include sea level rise. I would like to play Simon Says, and I would like you all to touch your shins, and that's the level at which we expect sea level rise by 2020. And then I'd like you to stand up and reach up high. By 2100, our high level estimate has 6 feet of sea level rise. This is a real risk.
When you try to explain these very complicated regulations to someone rebuilding their house or building their house to be more resilient, you find that it's so complicated that there's really only a handful of people who can thoroughly explain it. So what we've tried to do is simplify that on our website. You can see here, once you type in your address, it shows your current zone, your future zone, your base flood elevation, and then on this following pages, it really breaks down what all that means.
I'm going to take that map and I'm going to plug in our clients' addresses and I'm going to see who might be at risk for flooding in 2016 or later.
Flood insurance maps are growing, and it's a terrifying situation where people are going to be stuck with the choice between either having no flood insurance or having to pay enormous premiums.
And I loved the reflection that we had about how to make sure that this really important information actually gets to the people it affects.
You've got to be able to get people to understand what you're reading, what you're signing, and what people are going to be paying.
You get together at these events and it's this hard problem, right? But in fact that you have these people that are super committed, and the notion that they want to work together to create change and figure out how to tap into it is always, for me, absolutely the biggest takeaway.
It's good to get all these people in the same room that are from different entities and different organizations. We were supposed to do this together, to kind of take on the roles of leaders in the community and also to just lift each other up in our struggles.
It really is going to take a collaborative, collective effort to work together to come up with these solutions that will work. So we need everybody to join us.